make sure to stay tuned for an announcement at the end of the video, guys. Hey friends, it's Emily. So first things first, obviously I'm not in my regular space. I have temporarily moved back to my parents' house for obvious reasons. And before I get into all of that, today I'm going to be doing my makeup and talking to you guys like about the crisis and about what has been happening with me in my life. I'm not going to explain all my products or like what I'm doing. If you guys want that video, I can definitely do it, but this is just me putting makeup on to go film other videos today. So obviously the world is like stopped. Like I don't know how really to explain that else. This is day 31 of quarantine for me, which is like strange. It's really weird. I look crazy. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. As you guys know, I went to Indiana. This looks like the wrong color in this light, but it is the right color, I promise. I went to Indiana to visit Talon back in March for a few days. And it was right as the entire thing was starting to happen. And while I was down there, my government, my prime minister, the prime minister of Canada, was like, yo, you should probably come back if you are abroad. Getting back from the States at that point was an absolute nightmare, and I might have to tell that story. It was a gong show and a half. It was just a really rough day. Sorry, there were technical difficulties. So evidently, that was a very strange experience coming home. So I got back on the 15th of March, back to Vancouver, and at that point, the Canadian government was like, please self-quarantine for 14 days if you've left the country. So I decided to self-quarantine, which was a very weird experience. I had gone on this trip because I work for a production company, and the show that we're on, that is currently just taking a break, went on a week-long hiatus. We had like a week where we just weren't gonna work, and so my entire office team, all my coworkers, we all left, and then we all got quarantined when we came back. So it was a very weird week of work because we were still technically working, but we were all just working from home, and it was just a very weird experience. So I was isolated in my apartment because I live alone. I was isolated in my apartment for 14 days, and I'm very extroverted. So it was really, really tough on me. I had a really, really hard time with it. I'm not gonna lie. It was very tough. I just wanted to be around people and like see people and like hang out and like do things. But obviously I couldn't and I wouldn't. But it was hard to like come to terms with. It was hard to like realize that like you can't leave your house. You're not allowed to. You can't risk other people's health like that, you know? So it was definitely a weird experience. Not one that I liked. It's definitely 10 out of 10 would not recommend. But I called my mom basically every day when I was in quarantine. And so when my mandatory 14 days was finished and I obviously wasn't sick, I asked my parents if it would be okay if I came home, and they said yes. So I'm very grateful for them. It's day 31 and I've been here since day 16, so it's been 14 days. It's very bizarre to be back at home after like moving away and thinking you're not gonna live, you know, in the small town again. It's a very bizarre feeling, and it's weird to not be like at my house in my apartment, not sleeping on my actual bed, but I'm not complaining. This was the best choice I ever made. Just in general too, I've been having a tough time. It's been really difficult being isolated from like my friends and my work and not having like a sense of time. That's not where like the stress comes from or the anxiety. It's stemming from a idea of like, how long is this gonna go on? You know, because I miss my job. I really love my job and I love what I do. It's very selfish to feel sad and I guess upset. It's not selfish because that's how I feel, but I feel sad for myself, but I know that a lot more people have it way worse. Oh god. I think I just poked myself in the eye. So yeah, it's very bizarre, but I guess the one saving grace for my industry and my life back home is that a lot of people are turning to media right now. They're watching more TV, and there's a very high demand for movies and television, like an escapism. So when we're able to come back, I think that my industry will have some success, which I think is nice for me. Yeah, so I just want to say to all of the nurses and healthcare workers and grocery workers, everybody who's on the front lines and is an essential worker and is still working, thank you for doing your job and for helping people like me who aren't able to work, because it's a scary time. It's a scary world that we're living in right now. You are invaluable and I am so grateful for you. Thank you. So yeah, I think this is what the look is gonna be for the rest of these videos. I don't think it needs to be anything crazy. Yeah, thank you guys for chatting with me. I hope this was kind of a little different because I could have just sat down and done the same video, but I figured I would make it a little visually more interesting. So the announcement, which I totally forgot about until right now, is that I am gonna be posting every Sunday instead of every second Sunday. The catch is, not the catch, but like kind of a catch, is that every 2 weeks on the days that I wouldn't normally be posting, I'm gonna be posting like a song. Make sure if you have any song suggestions or any video suggestions to leave them in the comment section down below. If you could give this video a big thumbs up and share it with your friends, that would be wonderful, and I will talk to you guys next week.